Hi everyone, today we will be talking about something that almost everyone has experienced if you've been in the internet for a while now: Ragebait. Love it or hate it, you can't ignore how much Ragebait has become a key instigator of today's society, especially nowadays, with some people even making their entire persona on the internet for that very practice. So today we are gonna be looking at 3 Ragebaiters in particular and explain to you why they aren't worth your attention. I'm Conrad Amuda and let's get to the video.
It goes ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, click, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, click, bum, ba-bum, ba-bum, bum, click, bum. I be Lord of the Rings, I manifest. Represent from the den, I don't wear no vest. I got a heart in my chest, it goes ba-bum, ba-bum. I sway halfway, the day's hump, get over. I be Lord of the Rings, I manifest. Represent from the den, I don't wear no vest. I got a heart in my chest, it goes ba-bum, ba-bum. I sway.
Okay, so for the 10 or so people who don't know what that word means, Ragebait in simple terms is content deliberately designed to provoke or anger someone as a way of trolling, usually done at internet posts, controversial comments or messages and social media forums, and the Ragebaiters we're looking at today are no strangers to these kinds of methods. The first Ragebaiter we're looking at today is Bella the Wolf. Now, if you aren't familiar to this individual, Bella the Wolf was an online Ragebaiter who gained recognition sometime in 2023 with her semi-controversial videos, and the only reason why I'm emphasizing the word semi, because the gacha theme she used to distribute her Ragebait, if you can even call it that. At this point, Bella had already established an uproar of hate amongst her platforms and fanbase. Skipping a year later, a YouTuber by the name of Tirecords would make a video calling her out for their offensive content, especially the ones of her making fun of Technoblade's death and soldiers who served the country. And I want to let you all know, Ty said in his own video not to give her attention. I repeat, he said in his own video not to give her attention. This will become important later in this video.
I found out a lot of things, a lot. I'm not going to go into detail, but the best way to deal with this, in all honesty, is to ignore it. It's just to ignore it. I'm pretty sure we all can be mature about this and just give it no attention at all. I'm not going to give it no more attention anymore. This is just me saying goodbye to all the drama when it comes to that situation, and I might just talk about other stuff.
Like you would think people would listen to Ty on how to avoid this user who's intentionally provoking others for content and views, but no, almost every YouTuber, small or large, hopped on into this bandwagon. I was even gonna make a video, believe it or not, but I decided not to because it was becoming obvious most people were just using her for the clicks, and I didn't really want my first video that got 1,000 views to be about a petty troll. If that were ever the case, by this time I think her TikTok was banned because of Tirecords' first video on her, so you would think people would ignore her by now. Okay, before I move on to the main horseman of this drama, we first need to go over the sort of content Bella was making at this moment in time.
Click, I be Lord of the Rings, I manifest. Represent from the den, I don't wear no vest. I got a heart, my
Remember when I mentioned that Bella was called out by Tirecords for mocking soldiers and Technoblade? Well, those weren't really the only things she mocked. For example, religion. On Bella's main TikTok and YouTube channel, she had frequently mocked both Christians and Muslims in her videos. Now, before I dissect those videos one by one, I feel I need to give my perspective on this, since I am a religious person myself. Okay, so I'm not gonna pretend I do come from a very religious background, and you can take that as you will. I do have a very strong lenience to my faith if you've seen my interactions with non-believers online, but even as a Christian, this was probably the most obvious Ragebait I've ever seen. Not at the level of Reddit neckbeards, but definitely in the level of a 13-year-old who thinks he's smarter than everyone in his friend group because he doesn't believe in a Sky Daddy. Sorry for that long tangent. Anyways, just look at what I'm talking about. But to give her credit where credit is due, at least Bella didn't just make fun of one particular religion as opposed to another, because as some of you may know, Ragebaiters like her typically only make fun of Christianity as it is more dominant. I'm not saying Islam or any other religious beliefs aren't scrutinized on a daily basis, but it isn't to the degree of Christianity. Anyways, let's move on to one of the first things Bella was using as a tool for her Ragebait: dead soldiers. As you may know, Bella was called out for all known to use soldiers, specifically dead ones who fought for their country, as Ragebait Ragebait to lure people into her content. Although making fun of dead people is obviously wrong and inhumane, I still don't get why Bella used them as her primary source of Ragebait. Did she have a relative who fought in solidarity? Well, all I know is that it definitely worked to her advantage, with users from almost all corners of the internet calling her out instantaneously. She also made fun of Technoblade's death, as I mentioned at the start of this section, but I'm not really gonna dive into that since I'm only covering the matters Bella got the most amount of traction for now. Let's move on to the Horseman.
We're on our way to golden. I'm golden, baby girl, you're golden. We're golden, and the world is golden. It's golden, that's golden. Release particular styles, we're molding to golden. I'm golden, that's golden. Release particular styles, we're molding to golden.
So according to what I could find on the wiki, this whole feud between Bella and the Horseman, I'll be verifying who they are in a moment's time, started at July of 2024 when a YouTuber by the alias Steak would make a live stream calling out Bella for her cringe and offensive content and setting a trial date later that month where Bella's face was revealed partially, but I believe this image has been debunked because Bella at some point in this drama revealed her actual face, but I'm not really gonna talk much about this whole fiasco cause I find it the least interesting. Well, none of it was ever interesting, but to me this tip of the iceberg was just staged and handled poorly. PackGod and Creekcraft would escalate this drama later on that year, which is where I think this drama went on a drastic stumble. On June of 2024, a YouTuber by the name of Ducky would upload a video interviewing one of the most controversial Roblox YouTubers who were cute single, and this video was actually what convinced me more that the Bella and Steak beef was entirely fallacious, as I speculated this a few months after Ducky conducted his interview. I'll link the creator that informed me about that video's existence since it was my main inspiration for making this video anyways. Here's a clip of the interview if you don't understand what I'm referring to.
Also, like many of the interactions I had with YouTubers have been staged and scripted purposely for money and to look to me really bad. This is
The fact that Steak commented under that video saying that it wasn't a big deal only further alludes that the drama he had between Bella was staged, and I find it funny that the replies under his comment are somewhat surprised, like he makes one of the laziest content on YouTube. Not to mention he dragged the Bella the Wolf situation for months now, and every time they interacted it was either for views or he just clickbaited his way through. But I think that's enough Bella the Wolf for one day, so now let's move on to everyone's favorite femboy Paley. Just like Bella the Wolf, Paley, a Roblox YouTuber who was called out for provocative content for lack of a better word, also fell victim to something I like to call the Steak detraction syndrome, which basically means she was his new target to latch for views. But before we elaborate how she was used by Steak, I first need to go through Paley's history for further context. Paley is a Roblox YouTuber who gained a following by posting those typical Roblox edits if you were on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, but sometime in their career she started posting videos using Christianity for views. Here's a clip if you're wondering.
Ha, look at you, Bacon Jesus supporter. You will never be rich and pretty like us.
Let's go, this is so lame. They might be right. Jesus, if you hear this, please help me.
Like and subscribe in the next 3 seconds. To save the bacon from devil. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my God, Jesus.
My child, you don't have to prove anything to those bullies.
Jesus, please forgive me.
Let's use Custom Use and get you some clean clothes, my child.
What is Custom Use?
Custom Use is an app where you can create any avatar you want. You should try it.
I will. Oh my God, thank you so much, Jesus.
Comment Jesus if you love and support Jesus.
As you could see, Paley got a ton of backlash cause people felt she was using Jesus Christ for monetary purposes by promoting a Minecraft and Roblox avatar designer app. But eventually she fell victim to Steak's content as she responded to him a couple times, even going so far as to fake screenshots of Steak saying the internet's no word. Like, I know most of the drama between her and Steak was fake, but even I, as someone who dislikes Steak's content to the brim, I wouldn't give doing that. Literal thought, cause I know he would use that for content, and using it for content is what he did. But to be completely honest, Paley is kind of a genius. Like, don't get me wrong, I think her and Steak are equally as annoying, but like a fellow commentator I know of once said in one of their videos about her, if you're genuinely falling for her rage bait, you're a dumbass, which couldn't be further from the truth. It is clear from this drama alone that Steak used this beef to capitalize on his audience's naivety, especially from his reactions. Cause what I don't understand is that why would you bother giving someone who clearly wants attention a platform in your content in the first place? But I guess that will be a discussion for another day. But enough with Paley now, let's move on to our new batch of triggering individuals, Fluttershy rage baiters. I'm not gonna go into this as long as the previous chapters because there isn't really much to say other than them being obvious trolls, but I'll try my best to keep a steady pace while going through this topic. So if you were on TikTok on July to August of 2025, you probably saw comments like this flooding almost every video with this particular profile picture accommodating them. Let me show you a video of someone responding to them just to give an idea on how prosperous they were. Till this day I still don't understand how people actually felt for those accounts knowing how obvious their rage bait were, but I guess that's TikTok for you. They make fun of YouTube shorts but fall for nonsense like this. Anyways, that's all from me. Sorry I couldn't make this part longer, but the thought of rambling about generic rage baiters all along, especially these ones, doesn't give me much interest, and in a way me making this video is kinda giving them attention, but who the fuck cares at this point? Sorry I wasn't able to release this video sooner. I got constant updates with my video editor and it took a lot to keep track of since a lot of these rage baiters have died down a little, but I promise I will try uploading better in the future. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you for 300 subscribers. I'm genuinely shaking with graciousness. I wish I could return the favor, but as always I'll see you guys in the next level. Bye.